Hello everyone, my name is Mumbles and this is Killing Floor 2. We're currently on Containment Station. I'm playing Firebug and this is just a hard difficulty game because it's one of my daily objectives. And I wanted to actually showcase one of the most recent weapons that got added to the game, and I think it's one of the best ones so far. It's called the Thermite Bore. I think we're only going to be able to grab it by Wave 3, based on the price tag, but I suppose we will see. We'll try our best to get it as early as possible. And yeah, I'm just going to talk about that once we have it, discuss, what it's like. I have to say it's quickly becoming one of my absolute favorite weapons in the game because it's just incredible. And yeah, I do think it's kind of silly that once again I'm playing a perk that I've played before on video, but that's inevitable. At the end of the day, I'm planning on recording quite a few videos, and over time there's going to be some repetition. I don't think that can be entirely avoided. For the time being, we're just going to grab the... Yeah, I'm gonna grab the Dragon's Breath, to be honest. I was considering the Scorcher. I think it's incredible, but let's just go with the Dragon's Breath here. So essentially, we're kind of retracing our steps here by playing Firebug once again. But like I said, the excuse is that I want to show one of the recently added weapons. Well, recently as in like the last update that was a month and a half ago. I think I mentioned it in my previous Berserker video that, this was one of my ideas originally to actually talk about these weapons a while ago, but the series never really came to pass. I'm kind of getting the drive to do it now, and hopefully, it's still not too late, quote-unquote. I gotta say, though, since the last video, I've actually had the... I guess you could call it pleasure of playing Berserker in an actual online multiplayer game. It was just a two-player game, which is essentially what I tend to play most of the time if I'm not recording. And turns out that it's quite bad. Like Berserker right now, I would almost say is, well, it's not unplayable in multiplayer, but it's wow, and the solo is so much better. It's actually functional compared to in multiplayer where I don't know, dude, you feel so fragile all the time and really not like a Berserker. So I don't know how to feel about that. It's one of my favorite perks, and it's kind of sad to see it go like that. Meanwhile, though, I've got to say that Firebug has just become even more powerful, seemingly with every single update that's come out to the game since I've been playing, which is a little bit over a year. So yeah, I guess I can't really complain, the Killing Floor 2 gods giveth and they taketh away. They've taken away my enjoyment with Berserker, but simultaneously, this perk is now completely incredible. It was never really that bad, but now it's at a point where I would genuinely say that it's one of the best in the whole game. And I mean, it's just really fun to actually play. Which is probably even more important, if you're being absolutely honest. I think I should be able to afford the Thermite Bore now. At least I hope so, and we're kind of right on time for it as well. So instead of, just discussing previous videos, other perks and whatnot, let's actually get to the topic at hand, which is the Thermite Bore. It's just an incredible gun. We're going to get as much ammo for it as humanly possible. I have one of the skins on it already. I gotta say, I'm not the world's biggest fan of the skins that you get when you purchase these weapons. I personally got the weapon as part of the Armory Season Pass, which I was shilling a couple videos ago. Still think it's pretty good value, so if you still haven't picked it up, I urge you to think about it, I guess, and just see if you end up liking it, I suppose. But yeah, the quality of the skins that they give for the guns in this pack is just pretty bad. I love the idea behind this one, that it looks like a Spitfire paint job. I can see the fun in that, but simultaneously, it's so crappy in terms of quality. And I guess maybe that's the point, because, they want you to get, crates and stuff, I imagine. But still, it's a little weird. So, what is the Thermite Bore? The easiest I can explain this, if you play the game, then you should know what a seal squeal is. This is just a fiery seal squeal. It does that, and then you get to explode that with another press of a different button. Now, I wanted to showcase the fact that sirens do in fact destroy the projectile, if it's just, out there. But I didn't get to that time because, as it turns out, the siren died from the fire damage. but it does in fact gets destroyed by sirens, which means you're going to hate sirens. I think the weapon itself synergizes really well with Pyromaniac when basically you have infinite ammo during Z time. It's rather good. The thing is, oh, and now we can actually see that, you know, it's getting destroyed as she's screaming. But the thing with Pyromaniac, and the only difficulty in using this weapon, lies in the fact that basically you can do 3 things with the gun. You can shoot, you can reload, and you can detonate manually. Now, manually detonating, in terms of like Z time, counts the same as reloading, so you don't get the speed bonus, you don't get the near real-time, you know, speed of doing stuff in Z time at all. Which means that, for example, if you get Z time and you're in the middle of detonating a charge that you had previously, you know, put into a Z or on the floor, then you might run into like a little bit of a problem with it. Essentially because you will not be able to capitalize on the Z-time infinite ammo at all, as it turns out. And I was like actually scared of that husk, even though he's just like, you know, part of the scenery. But yeah, it's a rather good weapon. As you can see, we ended up getting full ammo for it, and we still have some to spare. We only got slow motion a singular time that entire wave, and we basically got like 2 free shots out of it. Well, 2 shots that didn't cost us any ammo, because we got to, you know, shoot during slow motion. And it still kind of works. It's really rather fun. I think it's one of the strongest weapons in the game, like based on my little experience so far. I think it's very enjoyable to mess around with. Usually what I like to run it with is the Scorcher. It's just really, I don't know, I really like the Groundfire, personally. Leaves you quite a bit of room still. I normally just get upgrades, which is probably what we're going to do this time around as well. Speaking of, we can probably upgrade the Scorcher. I'll probably use that against the Scrakes, although considering that, you know, the point of the video is more supposed to be the Thermite Bore, we'll actually see. Should, you know, heal myself before we go into this. But yeah, I think this weapon is one of the most, like, perfect additions to the game, because it just does what the Firebug was already good at in terms of controlling the battlefield. It just does even more of that for the perk. You can lay down traps, essentially, in doorways. You can rig other Zeds to explode with your thermite charges. The ground fire is incredibly strong. It's huge. Oh, and I'm starting to realize it gets red when there's Zeds in it, because I think it used to be that, you know, you have to keep the Zeds out of the area. I think I read something about that, but I only started playing once, you know, the stand your ground was just literally, hey, stand in the circle while you do stuff. But yeah, this is a perfect, like, application area for this gun, because we can just lay down 1 charge each, like, in every single doorway, and then pretty much be safe for the, like, next couple of seconds as a consequence. Except, you know, there might be a Siren, who is, as I said, like, the greatest foe you will ever face as a Thermite Bore Firebug, because they are very annoying. But most everything is just going to die from the ground fire. And while this is, like, incredibly fun, and you're seeing, you know, I'm trying to shoot, but it took a while because I had manually detonated that charge to trigger the slow motion, but then I didn't get to utilize the slow motion as much as I had hoped. But yeah, essentially, it's one of those weird things where the ground fire is just so incredibly strong now, especially with this gun. It also, I believe, deals explosive damage, but I honestly should probably check the spreadsheet for that, and I've been too lazy to open that for, like, the last, I don't want to lie, but a couple months, to be honest with you. We could, like, do the parry, but really? Did we feel like it? I don't know, we didn't. We didn't feel like it at all. But yeah, as you can see, it's just an incredible weapon. Like, there's nothing else really to be said about it. This is obviously just solo hard, which is, you know, a completely different ball game than the higher difficulties, and it's very different if you play with actual people, as I mentioned in the Berserker example as well. But it doesn't change the fact that, like, this is just really rather good, and it just adds on to the perk's natural inclination, in my opinion, where, you know, you can kill trash, and, like, a single shot of this weapon kills so much trash depending on where you shoot. Now, there's a couple factors that you need to take into account. For example, this is a very enclosed map with a lot of choke points. Now, this is the perfect kind of map for this weapon, so I guess I'm very fortunate that I got this daily, actually has something to do. But I think on most maps there are areas that you can really really defend as a Firebug with this gun. There's a couple where, you know, you're going to have a worse time, like Elysium, I think, with especially the open area in the central hub. It's probably not going to be your friend, as it turns out. But, you know, Groundfire is still Groundfire, though, and there's still, like, paths that the Zeds tend to take there. I'm very happy to see Hans here, and I think he's one of the better boss fights for this gun once again, because once he's done dodging in his initial, you know, gun-shooty phase, he tends to stick like in a single area for a long time, which means we're going to get a lot of mileage out of our ground fire, hopefully, at any rate. One thing I didn't mention while I was, you know, like upgrading this gun, actually, and I probably should have brought it up, is the fact that you can currently upgrade this weapon, and based off of the actual, you know, trader information, I don't know what the upgrading does, because, like, the damage is showcased as, like, a completely high stat already. It's like a maxed out stat. Yeah, like, we're just bullying Hans at this point. He's just spending more time on the floor than anything, and he's just gone. This is what I mean. Like, obviously, you know, we could probably crank the difficulty higher up considering we're a max level perk and whatnot, but it doesn't change the fact that this gun just makes a complete mockery out of this particular boss because of the fact that he kind of becomes immobile once you actually get into his shield phase. So as you can see, this is an incredibly strong weapon, and it's really, really fun to use. I think it just, like I said, perfectly encapsulates what Firebug is all about. So, yeah, it's one of my favorites, and you kind of got to see what the loadout is that I tend to use with it, except for the part where we never needed to use the Scorcher. It was just there. I guess it was there for emotional support more than anything, but sometimes that's okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and there's more to come. I'm actually starting a brand new series with a different game in the coming days, hopefully. So I'm hoping that, you know, people still watch that as well. But, you know, you'll get to see that when that gets uploaded. So I hope you had a good time, and I'll see you guys in the next video.